Hello. I am Maria, and I would like to present a small multi-scene example made in a single project CTA2. A story usually unfolds in different successive scenes, where the corresponding characters appear. The simple project that we will see next has a character, Peter, who will leave from his office, will go through the hall and the coffee room and finally will enter this room. I'm going to call him to come.
Tell me? He boss, yes. The multi-scene project. You are already in the conference room? Yes. In a moment I am there. Give me a couple of minutes. See you. Hello, Box.
Hello, Peter. Could you explain us how you did the multi-scene project?
Explain it? I?
Yes. You're the one who knows it best. You have 10 minutes. Good luck.
Okay, boss. I will do the best I can. In CTA2, it is very simple to mount several scenes in a single project, taking advantage of the function of the camera. When you have multiple short scenes, a person wandering around the different rooms of the house, for example, create different projects for each scene to later join them with an external product is a task very complex to perform and maintain. In addition, the steps from one scene to another cannot be seen until the last assembly, and never gets a dynamism like the one offered by the CTA camera. It is therefore easier to include all scenes in a single CTA project, and then using the camera functions you can define in a very easy way how to display at each time the required scene. The best way to understand how it works is to see it into the CTA2. Let's see next how we can create a basic scene for our project. We create our scenes as normal props. To create the scene, we choose a container. The container is, for example, a general background. We can choose this one, and then we need to add several items to create our scene. From the state mode, we change to the prop composer mode, and then here we can use the items in the office. For example, we can use cabinet to add just smaller, a little more, a painting, smaller, a little more. And finally we can add, for example, a window. Yes, this window, this way. In this moment we can create this prop. It's so easy as click in the sign plus, and here we have our prop that we can call scene 1. We don't need this one more. We change to state mode, and then we can go to custom, props, and then here we have the thing that is really propped. So we can put here, and here we have our first scene. Well, imagine that we have created several scenes for our project. For example, here in the multi-scene, we have these props that we have already created in the same way that we have shown before. What we want is to later add to these scenes a character that is moving from one scene to another. To do this, we are going to use the camera functions. First, we need to change to work easily the safe area. The safe area is this rectangle, the blue one. When we activate the camera is becoming red. Also is writing here red and the dot red, and the safe area is in red color. But for working with the sense altogether, or the scenes altogether, it's better to display the safe area in this way. Nothing changes really in the project, but only you can see better all the runs that you need to move later. Okay, so we are here. What we are going to do is to add to the project all the scenes we are going to use. We can place in any situation, but the best way is just to place them in the logical order. So first we choose an office and put here. Then we choose the hallway, and put just the next one. Then the coffee room, and finally we can put the conference room. Okay, we are doing this with the camera activate, but it's the same. In this moment it's not affecting at all to the project. Okay, so what we are going to do now is to activate the timeline. In the timeline for the project we have the camera row that is giving us the marks of the different positions of all the things in our sequence project. So the first thing we are going to do now is to activate the camera. We are here in the frame 1. By default is inserting one camera mark, and then we are going to place the office in the safe area. Well, we haven't told you before that the safe area is the area that is displayed in the real time when the project is executed with the camera activate. So you are going to see only what is into this area. To move this product into the area, we are going to use these two icons of functions just on the right of the camera. The first one is the zoom, and the second one is the move. We choose the move, and then we can place the mouse in any situation. It's the same. When we click, one is here. When we click, we can move the whole scenario. We can think about the Y as something that is containing all the scenes, and with these two icons we can just move, and then we choose the zoom, and with the wheel of the mouse just we are giving exactly the side we need to work. We choose move another time just to take exactly the position of the side of our first scene. Okay, now is in the right position, and to check that is correct we use the F12 key. If we click in the F12 key, we see the real display of the project. With escape we move another time. Now we move to another position of the project, for example to this frame 150, and then we choose another time to move, and we are going to move to the second scene. This one, go a little smaller, we move a little more, just to give this exactly place some side. See that here is a new mark. This mark has been added, but the camera to the timeline. Okay, now we can move to just, for example, the place 300 or more or less, and we repeat the process. We are now taking the third thing. We can move faster if we need with the wheel and the shift wheel, and then it's very fast. With only the wheel is low. Depends on the unit, you can use one or another. Well, it's the same. So we have another mark. And then finally we are going here and move another time to the last scene, the conference room. Okay, it's here. Well, now we can go to the beginning of the timeline and just execute the project. We are going to see that the scenes, well, really the props are moving around the marks to every frame. Okay, if we do it with the F12, we are going to see exactly the same. The scenes are moving to be placed in the frame we have decided. Okay, but this is not really what we want to have. We want that in this frame the scene 1 is moving instantaneously to the scene 2, and then scene 3, then scene 4. To obtain this situation with this functionality, we just go here. No, before we copy this mark, Ctrl C, and then move to the next mark. We can go here to see better. Move only one frame before, and then here we copy the mark of the first thing. Then we copy the second thing mark and move to the next mark. Exactly the same. We move before the frame and copy the mark of the previous thing. Then copy the last one, Ctrl C, move to the last camera mark, precise just to see better, and move one back, and here we pass, Ctrl V the previous mark. Now we are going to run exactly the same, and you see now that the scenes are not moving in the segment between marks, but only changing exactly when we are reaching the frame. This is what we want to have. And exactly the same if we run with the F12 key. It's changing only when it's reaching the frame of the corresponding scene. So we are now in the first frame, and at the time we have all these things, so we are going to add an actor. For example, this one can move here just in the beginning of the first scene. We activate now the camera. We can take the size of Walter a little smaller and move into the scene. Well, now we can see what we said before. Walter is moving in front of the elements of the scene or prop, not really prop. If we try to move, for For example, after the share, this is not possible because it's going after in the back of the scene. So Walter must be all the time in before the scene of the prop. We can move a little more just to avoid in some cases going after the scene. If we need in one scene the character interacts with some item, we need to add the item just now. For example, we can do the next thing. We can go to the props of the office, and we can take a table here, okay. We move the table in before the string. We reside. We can do a flip, well, a little bigger. I want also to be before Walter. So in this way now Walter can go after the table. Okay, right. This is the way to introduce new items that can interact with the character. Walter is here. You can move next mark. You can this mark really, and then we move mark just exiting the first thing. And now here we want Walter to start walking into this scene. So we are going to next one. Just put on this way to see everything. Move here, and then we take and place Walter in this one, and then it's going just into this next string, and when we are going to the last one, reside to see the previous one, move Walter here, and then now it's nearly entry in the last string. For example, here we are moving in the middle. Okay, so we can start in the first frame and execute the project to see what is happening. And then, right, Walter is moving through the 4 strings until the last one. We can see exactly the same with the F12, and it's moving as we wish. Second string, third string, fourth and last string. Okay, we can stop, going to the first thing. Well, this is really what we wish from the beginning. The only thing we need now is to animate Walter to walk. First we change the angle. I change the angle just selecting the character with this key, F key. Okay. And now just choose an animation. Enter the animation, move. Example walk, normal walk. Now Walter is walking. We can set the after Walter and see the transform and the motion, and then we can take this, extending this motion until the last thing. We are going now to see what is happening from the beginning. Now it's walking through the scenes until the last one. Okay, I can take this one smaller. So we are here. Water is coming until this place. What we need now is to just to set here a needle, the water pulse, and after this we can change the angle of water. Okay, so now we can see what's happening from the beginning. And water is moving as we wish from the beginning. Okay, so we can check the same with the F12, and this is what we want to obtain. Okay, this is all.